Welcome back to a new year of Islanders Insider. I'm Stephen King, coming to you from the locker room here at the Dugan Family Soccer and Track Stadium, as we're going to be talking some Islanders soccer today, as well as Islanders volleyball with respective head coaches Shanna Caldwell and Tony Greystone. We'll also have a look back at 2013-2014 and a special feature coming up today. As we get things underway, let's talk some Islanders soccer with the head coach, Shanna Caldwell. How you doing, Coach?
Good to see you.
Good to see you as well. Good to see you as well. Now, how was your life different? I'm going to ask you plain and simple. How was your life different preparing for a second season of Islanders soccer than compared to an inaugural season? I mean, you're trying to implement on-the-field systems, but you're off-the-field systems as well. You know, trying to learn administrative, academic, everything. But with that year behind you, how's life different?
I think moving into year two, it's just everyone's a little bit more comfortable. They know what to expect a little bit more. Still a lot of question marks, but moving through, we had a full spring season under our belts, so the girls actually had a chance to train and really, learn our system a little bit better and adjust to college life, which was a big difference in maturity between year one and year two.
There's no doubt about that. Now, one of the significant challenges about starting a program from scratch last year was, of course, developing team chemistry. Now that you're in year two, how has the development of team chemistry changed?
I think it's an ongoing thing. It flows and adjusts every year and, throughout the season as well. But this group, we didn't lose that many kids from the first year to the second. So them having a chance to have gotten to know each other better off the field kind of just helps with their chemistry on the field. And, we only had 6 new kids coming in, and they've been able to easily just kind of blend into the system that's in place, and the older kids now, older by a year, but they understand what we're asking of them to do, and so everybody's kind of just bought in, and we're moving forward.
Moving forward is obviously the key. Now, I do have 2 questions that pertain to the loss of last year's lone senior, Audrey Baldwin. Now, she was clearly the team leader. This year you have 3 seniors. Are they ready to step up into that role?
I think they are. I mean, it takes a long time to adjust to that role and have everybody kind of looking at you when things go well and things go bad. Then that's where all eyes kind of point to. And I think they've done a good job. They still are learning. They're learning how to help each other. And along with those 3 seniors, Jess Burdan has still stepped up to kind of help in that leadership role as well.
Also, when you lost Audrey Baldwin, that meant you needed a new goalkeeper, plain and simple. Now, what was the competition like this year for the job, and who ultimately has claimed the prize?
Megan Delaney has definitely stepped up. She was out last year with a knee injury, so she's coming back off of that and getting some valuable playing experience. She hadn't played in a game in over a year, so she's still growing, and she's been a very big impact on the field already. She's very good with her feet, and it's added a new dimension into some of the things that we're able to do on the field now with her taking some set pieces and free kicks. Instead of having to have one of our backs, she's able to go ahead and serve that ball. So it's been nice.
When someone's coming back from injury, do you have to kind of rein them in a little bit because they're chomping at the bit to get going back full speed as quick as possible?
I think it's just it's a mental thing as well. Physically, I think she's we're cautious, making sure that she's doing things at the right time, and mentally just not getting I think one of her attributes is that she is strong mentally, and she really studies the game. So just keeping her even keel for the rest of the season. Naomi has stepped up in practice lately, and that's nice. Always nice to see, as well as Tori. So, there's some competition brewing.
Competition's always good.
Yes.
Always good to be pushed, that's for sure. Well, since last season, you've had some changes on your roster, and we've discussed that, and we'll probably continue to discuss that as we continue with the shows here. But you've also had changes in your coaching staff. Tell us about these new coaching members and their contributions to this year's team.
We have a brand new, two new staff members. Ann Huliston came in this spring, and she's been great. The girls really took to her right away. She's very smart. She knows the game well, and her personality fits in very well with our team. And then starting in August, Colby Banker came on board. He just finished up playing at St. Bonaventure, so it's a new dimension, and it's kind of fun. I think we definitely have a good staff in place, very knowledgeable, and a lot of energy, a lot of passion.
Well, that's great. Now, at the time of filming today, you are 2 weeks into the season, carry a 1-1-1 record. That includes the 0-0 tie at the University of Houston. Of course, if everybody remembers, University of Houston opened up our facility last year and we lost that game. What was your assessment of that performance? What kind of feeling did you get? Did you feel you avenged last year's loss? Let's put it that way.
I mean, I don't think that there's an avenge factor. We're just trying
we just like
to
to
get
build
better.
drama here. Is what we try to do.
We're getting better every game, and I think the difference in our playing style between last year's opening game and this year's was very evident. We really kind of took to the attack, and going into overtime, last year we lost a couple close ones in overtime, and this year they had a little bit of different mentality, and that we were aggressive, and from the outstart of the game all the way to the final whistle, which was nice to see. And I think hearing from Houston players and coaches as well, that they could see a significant change in our team from year 1 to year 2 was also just kind of proof that we're moving in the right direction.
Yeah, you can probably just look at them in the eye and just know the difference immediately.
Yes, yeah.
Clearly. Now, up next, the University of Texas comes to town here in Corpus Christi. Now, tell us about, first, our relationship with UT after this summer and how huge an opportunity is it to have them come here for our first home opener under the lights.
They have a great coaching staff up at Texas, and Angie's, happy to bring her team down. This will be the third meeting with them. So our team's really comfortable playing. They get excited for the challenge of playing them, and they're even better that it's at home and under the lights. And it's a good test for us to just kind of continue to see where our progress is. Like I said, we opened up our exhibition season with them last year, and then we played them again this spring. And we've improved each time. So, the girls are excited for that opportunity Friday night, and to have the crowd and to have the home support, I think is going to be huge. And like I said, Texas is, I think they're excited to come down here and play as well.
The anticipated crowd's going to be fantastic. That there's going to be a lot of energy in the room.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing we have to balance with the girls is being excited and having the energy, but making sure that we're focused on what our job is at hand.
No doubt. Coach, looking forward to a great season. Best of luck to you. Shanna Caldwell joining us here in the locker room. When we come back, we got a special feature looking back on 2013-2014. Stay with us, more to come. Islanders Insider continues. It's time for Friday Night Football. Soccer fans, your Islanders are preparing to welcome the Texas Longhorns to Corpus Christi for their home opener. Join us at Dugan Stadium Friday, September 5th at 7 p.m. for the matchup of the season. Get there early for the student tailgate party with food provided by Fuzzy's Taco Shop. Call 825-BALL for tickets for the Islanders' first ever match under the lights. Go Islanders! Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, we have a special segment highlighting 2013-2014. Let's check in on that really special year.
The Southland is really, really deep. 6 teams in the top 110. So it's really a dogfight for the women to win it. But I do feel like, last year finals, this year finals, a lot of key players returning, some really good signees. I think we're moving in the right direction.
Oh, I think kids were excited. And it was a spot that we had never been in before. Let's be honest. 3 games to play, playing for a championship, and couldn't be more proud of this club. The pitching staff as a whole, the hitters, what these guys had done. Obviously, those 5 seniors, the leadership they brought to the table in getting us to that point, going into those last 3, and we got in there and just, honestly got ambushed a little bit. Sam Houston knew those guys had been there before, and you go back and look at their track record this season, the way they matched up with Texas A&M, Houston, Rice. They were definitely talent-wise the class of the Southland Conference and kind of flexed their muscles a little bit at the end of the season. It looked like a really good club. So congratulations to those guys. But again, really proud of our guys and how they continued the momentum of our program.
I think every team is unique and each season is its own. With this one, I think I was impressed with how well and quickly our girls came together. And as far as kind of, we hit the wall the week before, which you expect every year, except that we had everybody hit it at the same time. And, it was just a matter of keeping the girls positive and letting them know that the ship wasn't sinking, that we just had to keep pushing through. And, we came out against Abilene and played very well. We looked like the team that I was used to seeing on the field. So, is there anything new or unique about being a head coach? I mean, the pressure is a little bit different personally. You're accountable for everybody. But, no, I mean, it's fun. It's been a fun year.
It was nice for those fans to come in that hadn't been down here. All the teams that came into play had been to our facility. For those fans to come down to Corpus Christi, to be able to see our city, to see that this is a vacation destination. We know that we probably got some fans that have decided, we want to go back down there and vacation. It also brought up a lot of fans that were local that came out that probably hadn't been out here on campus before, hadn't been out in years because there was a volleyball tournament. So it got them out here to the island to see what a great place this is. A wonderful institution, a beautiful campus, a beautiful facility to come in and see how nicely lit up it is, a great facility for volleyball. So it's a really tremendous asset for our campus, our university, especially our athletic department, but also the city of Corpus Christi.
The Southland Conference is 4,200 student athletes from 13 member institutions, competing in 17 NCAA Division I sports. We are Southland Strong.
Welcome back to Islanders Insider as we return to the locker room, joined this time by the head coach of Islanders volleyball, Tony Graystown. Coach, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. Islanders volleyball, tremendous year last year, best season in program's history, finishing 20-12 overall, 13-5 in Southland play. As you reflect back to last year, what was the highlight of the 2013 season, and what did you personally take away from the entire experience?
The highlight was getting into the playoffs and getting that first win. That's the obvious answer. But along the way, we had to knock down some programs that had been ahead of us for a while, and were just kind of that stumbling block for us, So we cleared some hurdles. It was really good to host the tournament and kind of see firsthand what it was all about and get our younger players that idea in their head of what it would take to win a championship. And then after the season was over, we came back really renewed in the preseason and had a really nice off-season, added some good parts, and I feel like we're good to go now.
When I talk with you during preseason training, as a matter of fact, I would ask you about the team's progress, and I was really expecting you to say things like, well, we got a long way to go, or, we have our good days and bad days. But truthfully, that wasn't the case. You seemed very positive throughout preseason training. It seemed to carry over onto the floor.
Yeah, when your strength of your returners is your ball control and your outside hitters, that's a good thing to have. So you can plug in some new middles and not be too far down. We can bring in some new setters and be okay. Our first touch and our third touch was all coming back, and so the things that get us in system, the things that score the points for us, were all coming back. So those other positions are important, but we got to score points, and so we brought our point scores back. So that was all the reason we needed to feel pretty good about this team.
Well, you say those other positions are important. Well, in particular, you were replacing a first-team all-conference setter.
For sure.
In Logan Bork
no
last
question,
year.
No question.
Now, this has turned out to be a very interesting competition for the job, hasn't it?
It has. Yeah, we brought Shelby Stanford in during semester break last year. So she's been here since January, All-American JUCO setter from Hill College, and it was a really good thing for her to come at break and have a semester working with us and get used to our system and just give herself that leg up, because Kristen Nicholson, the true freshman, is a heck of a player. And so it's been a battle, and every day has been a reshuffling of the depth chart, and even over the opening weekend, they both played a lot and did really well.
Is that a battle you want to kind of have constantly going on throughout the season to continue to push themselves? But do you also ultimately have to settle on something?
Yeah, I got to settle on it. I got to decide. You know, you hear about college football teams that'll try a 2-quarterback system, and you know, it's great for the to talk about in theory. It's a great thing, but you know, you got to have that continuity. We're running a 5-1. We're not running a 6-2. So we've got to settle on one setter. And right now we're just kind of going by matchups and who we think is going to give us the best chance to win on that day. But they each have their strengths, and we're going to try to play to those as well as we can.
Well, this season your team was recognized having 3 preseason all-conference performers. Junior Brianna Brink and junior Ivy Barsh were selected first team, while senior Ashley Phelps picked up a second-team preseason honor. You know, in the past, I believe they've been overlooked, but with the past success, they're getting that respect, and I'm sure you've emphasized to them that respect isn't given, it's earned.
Absolutely, and we know that, and that's kind of been the history of our program here, especially since I've been here. Everything has been, you know, one step at a time and doing things the hard way, but that's okay. That's kind of our way to doing things anyway. But absolutely, those 3 have been the cornerstones of the team for the last couple of years, and that's what I was talking about, the point scorers that have come back. And so it was no surprise that Ivy and Bree were first team preseason. Ashley is the one that came on really strong last year, and I think she turned some heads, and she's been looking really sharp in the preseason. So those 3 are the girls for us.
Oh, there's no doubt. By the end of last season, your group, truthfully, was kind of the walking wounded, though, to be real. How is their health coming into the year, and how are you planning to manage your athletes, considering that some of those injuries might still kind of linger on?
Yeah, that's the downside of it. We've got all these great kids coming back, and they're the ones that are the most beat up. So Ivy and Ashley and Haley Satterwhite, those 3 of our top 4 outside hitters that are the most banged up. So, you know, Ivy had 2 surgeries over the summer. Ashley's been hurt since the day she got here. You know, Haley's got a really serious back injury, and they're just getting through it. You know, so it's up to us to manage those practice days and make sure we don't burn them out Monday and Tuesday, so that they can be on the court on Friday and Saturday. And you know, but we have a good relationship with the trainers and strength coaches, and we're all on the same page. And you know, they're fighters, and so they're going to be out there every chance they can.
And earlier in the season, particular tournament play,
yeah,
you've got to manage minutes, don't you?
For sure. Yeah, we're playing over half our schedule over the first 4 weeks. So there's a lot of volleyball in a short amount of time, and so we've got to make sure that we balance that out. And so someone like Ashley Phelps did not play that much opening weekend. She played on Friday and just a little bit on Saturday. Satterwhite didn't play at all on Friday, but she played all day on Saturday. You know, and this is kind of how we're going to have to do this.
Challenging, that's for sure.
It is.
You opened the year at Baylor, you know, the tournament we were just discussing that opening weekend. You won 2 of 3, falling only to the host Baylor in 4 sets. How would you grade out your weekend performance?
I was happy. We looked good. We played clean. We were really low air. Some of the things that we struggled with last year, we showed that we were much better at this year. Our block was a little bit better, and that was our big weakness last year. You can tell we've got some potential there. Mostly it was just about getting settled in this weekend. I felt like there were the moments that we were a little bit out of control and not settled on our side, and we started letting some points get away from us, where if we could have just kept our cool a little bit more, we could have just slowed the point down on our side and been okay. So, and this is the thing with new setters. This is where they've got to manage the team a little bit, and that starts with getting themselves under control and knowing what we're trying to do and how we want to attack the other side. So I expect by this weekend we'll look a lot better with those things.
Coach, let me ask you about some of the youth on this team, and in particular, you're very young at the middle blocker position.
We are, yeah. We've got 2. We got 3 brand new ones. You know, we've got 2 freshmen, Brittany Gilpin and Madeline Dowd, and then we've got a transfer, Kelsey Felix. And Kelsey came from Kingsville. She's actually an outside hitter, but we've started training her as a middle, and she's really done a nice job. It's a tough transition to make, especially for an older player. But she was looking for a new start and wanting a new opportunity, and she knew this was her best way of getting it. So she's been all in training at that position. But the freshmen, Brittany and Maddie, a ton of potential there. Brittany is a very, very solid, pretty polished kid for being this young. Really quick, jumps well, very offensive. And then Madeline's kind of just the opposite. She's a better blocker than an offensive player, but she's got that potential, but she's just got to get that timing down and get it there. But, you know, right now with these 3, it's about, you know, getting them to see things on the court and pick up hitters faster in transition and score for themselves and be able to kind of see the play as it develops and not have things so scripted for them. So a lot of experience that they've got to gain in a short amount of time. But opening weekend, they look pretty good. I was pretty happy, especially with Kelsey. She hit 300 for the weekend against some nice competition and really did a good job. And you could see Brittany getting better every match. So we're pretty happy about those three. I think this is going to be the strongest group of middles we've had in quite some time.
Progress, that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
You have tourneys coming up on the road. UT Pan American is next. Then you go out to Long Beach State. You'll play 4 games in 2 days.
Yeah.
That's a tough schedule right there. You've also thrown in a solo match against Rice on the road along the way. What kind of growth do you need to see before we eventually get here for our home opener on September 18th against Incarnate Word in the Emerald Beach Islander Classic?
Yeah, I think right now it's just cleaning up a lot of different things. We've got a long list of things we're working on today, and the block, how hard, how we're getting better there, how effective our serve is, just little things individually we got to get better at to clean up our game, and then the team will pull together and we'll be okay. But mostly for the young players, they just need to be on the court. So, we put a big schedule together early on with the purpose. We knew we had that depth at the outside, even though they're beat up, we could manage those. But the younger players at the other positions, they got to get as much playing time as possible before conference starts. So this is why we're doing it.
Well, I know people are very excited about the upcoming season, the success last year, what it could translate into this year. It's going to be exciting, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we are too.
Coach, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Tony Greystone joining us here in the locker room talking some Islander volleyball. When we come back, we'll bring you up to speed on what's next for Islanders Athletics. Stay with us. More to come on Islanders Insider. It's time for Friday Night Football. Soccer fans, your Islanders are preparing to welcome the Texas Longhorns to Corpus Christi for their home opener. Join us at Dugan Stadium Friday, September 5th at 7 p.m. for the matchup of the season. Get there early for the student tailgate party with food provided by Fuzzy's Taco Shop. Call 825-BALL for tickets for the Islanders' first ever match under the lights. Go Islanders! Welcome back to Islanders Insider. At this time, let's look ahead for what's next with Islanders Athletics. On Friday, September 5th, it's Friday Night Football as your Islanders host the University of Texas at the Dugan Family Track and Soccer Stadium. Match time, 7 o'clock. On Sunday, September 7th, the Islanders will head out on the road as they take on the Rice Owls in Houston. That's a 1 o'clock start time. And then they'll return back to the Dugan Family Track and Soccer Stadium on Friday, September 12th as they host UTSA at 7 o'clock. Islander Volleyball will be heading out on the road for the next couple of weeks, starting on September 4th, Thursday, as they travel down to the Valley at the UT Pan American Tournament as they take on the host UTPA at 6 o'clock. They'll continue with 2 games on Saturday, September 5th, first Northern Arizona at 10 a.m., then Texas Tech at 2:30. Then the following week, September 12th, Islander Volleyball will head out on the road to Long Beach, California to participate in the Long Beach State Loyola Marymount Tournament. They'll take on St. Mary's at 1 o'clock on Saturday. They'll follow that up with game number 2 that Saturday at 9 p.m. as they play Loyola Marymount. Then on Saturday, September 13th, 2 matches on the slate as they take on Long Beach State at 2, followed by Northern Colorado that evening. Once again, we want to thank Shanna Caldwell, head coach of Islanders Soccer, and Tony Greystone, the head coach of Islanders Volleyball, for joining us here in the locker room today. Once again, thank you all for tuning in. You've been watching Islanders Insider.